You're now tuned to BS3 Network. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
It's Queen3 King. It's Queen3 King. It's Queen3 King. Queen3 King, we the team, it's going down. We the talk of the town, it's going down. We royalty, wear our crowns, it's going down. Tune in now, it's going down. Queen3 King, we the team, it's going down. We the talk of the town, it's going down. We royalty, wear our crowns, it's going down. Tune in now, it's going down. It's Queen3 King on BS3 Network.
Welcome to another episode of Queen3 and King. You know we're going to bring the beat back. Dr. Q, look down at your bottom right-hand corner and you'll see the educated queen. That's what we do this relevant. I don't know if it's too much for the doctor to remember where you come from, but this beat do something.
Uh-oh. Get it, girl.
Today's episode, Monumental Mentality, with our special guest host, Dr. Q Parnell. I met her on Radio Row in Las Vegas during the week of Super Bowl 58. And you will see very quickly why she is as special as she is and why I had her on the podcast as quickly as possible. We are live on Roku. Search BS3 TV and download today. Our YouTube viewers, please click the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, please. Also, give StreamYard permission to show your name in the chat if you're on Facebook. There is a link in the show description, the body of the post, that you'll need to click. StreamYard.com. I don't know what is that backslash or /? Either way, it don't matter. Facebook. All right. Now let's get into these introductions. Y'all know who I'm is. And next we have the season queen by way of Garland, Texas. She was known as Coco, Skinny Minnie, Boney Maroney, Darling Nikki, Coco the Grandma herself, almost in Van Augustine, Anna, Texas. Talk to the people, queen.
Hello.
Went with the 36-inch length here's this week. Yeah, so hopefully they ain't hitting the flow. All right, and next we have the educator queen, also known as Meba TT. She celebrated her birthday this past week, and we were quickly reminded why she lost her title as Tulsa and why she's still wearing the ankle monitor. Talk to the people, queen.
You really get on my nerve. Good evening, everybody.
And as you can tell, also, she enjoyed herself Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and her edges are not quite back the way they need to be.
Gone.
And last but not least, we have the baby queen, formerly known as Blake's mama. She is now firmly entrenched in the corner of Bronxy, New York Red. Talk to the people, queen.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be back.
They said hi.
Oh, hey.
And this next individual, she hails out of Columbia, South Carolina, by way of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She is a global speaker. She is a doctor of pharmacy. She's an executive leadership coach and author. Dr. Q is a compelling woman, a virtuous wife, an extraordinary mother, and a revolutionary business mogul.
Come on here.
Yeah, who has achieved numerous accomplishments throughout her career and life. She studied at South University School of Pharmacy, studied at Benedict College. She has a vision and a dream, and with this business, she's gonna start. She says she's gonna be a millionaire in her mind, and soon will be. She says there's two things she can control, and we're gonna ask her about it a little later. It's her attitude and her actions. Her leadership style is characterized as benevolence and a commitment to producing massive results. Dr. Q is also a devoted wife and mother who places great value on her family. Dr. Q is a clinical managed care pharmacist, transformational speaker, executive leadership coach, CEO, and founder of Monumental Mentality and Monumental Kids Academy. Dr.
Awesome.
To the people.
What's up, y'all? I am so excited. We about to have some fun tonight.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that got me with Dr. Q is her smile. You can tell this, right? Just looking at her. And we were on Radio Row. I mean, I'm talking about it lit up the entire convention center. It was just like that, you know. So that was one of the first things. You know, she had I don't know if one of your handlers came around trying to see if we wanted to interview you or whatever. But and at first I wasn't really sure. But when she came over there and she had that trident smile, I'm like, okay, yeah, we can do something, you know. So
Trident ain't been out since '99.
Okay. So Dr. Parnell, tell us what you thought about BS3 Network, myself, and stuff when you met us there on Radio Row.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I sat down with y'all, I felt like I was sitting down at a table with my cousins and my brothers and just uncles and just sitting down having a good old conversation. We talked about the Lord. We talked about life. We talked about why things matter. So it was just comfortable.
Yeah. Those of you who know me know that I operate from a spiritual ear. And when I was talking to her, the Lord was giving me a couple of things, you know, and I just said, I know this ain't where this interview is supposed to go, but here it is. And I could tell she was receiving it because the look on her eyes was like she wanted to get up. I don't know if in your church, Dr. Q, apparently they do. Do they get up and run around the church? Because you were about to get up and run for a minute.
Do a little dance for the people.
So as you can see, Monumental Mentality is the name of this episode, and we named it because this is Dr. Q's baby. So Dr. Q, why don't you give us the elevator speech regarding Monumental Mentality?
So monumental simply means highly significant and of great importance. And I believe that when you come up with a name for anything, it has to have some meaning behind it. So when I think of a monument, you think of what the Washington Monument, the pyramids of Giza, maybe even the mountain with the old man faces on it, you know, Mount Rushmore. But when I think of, you know, highly significant of great importance, I'm monumental. And I believe that each and every one of you and all of the viewers and listeners are monumental as well. And your mentality, that's your way of life. That is how you operate. That's your mindset, what you do each and every day. So if you wake up with an attitude of I am highly significant and of great importance, and you operate with a monumental mentality, there is nothing you can't accomplish. So that's why I came up with monumental mentality.
I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
And this is off script. I didn't have this written down or listed as one of the questions. We'll get to the next one here in just a second. But do you run a pharmacy on a day-to-day basis? Have you stopped that? What's the situation with regard to that, being a doctor of pharmacy?
I'm actually on the managed care side of pharmacy now. So I am the director of pharmacy utilization management with a insurance company here in South Carolina. I oversee 6 other pharmacists and a program manager. Probably one of the youngest in my role in what it is that I do. I also specialize in gene and cellular therapies. Those are like the multi-million-dollar drugs and infusions that people get if they have diseases that are not yet curable, but they try to do these gene therapies to correct the gene that's causing the issue. So I deal with those and write medical policies and things of that nature. So I still practice pharmacy 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, you talking about, and y'all and Queens, please feel free to jump in if you hear
Yes,
anything that's your interest and you want to ask her a follow-up to any of these questions. But one of the things that struck me when I was studying for this interview is that this is a multi-million-dollar gene therapy.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, hey, that means somebody trusts you enough to give you the keys to something. So talk a little bit more about that and why. Is that something that's important to you? Is that something that you just fell into? How did you get into that?
So when I first came on board, I was tasked with the wonderful project of creating a gene and cellular therapy task force. When I first joined the organization that I work for, it was right around the time that the first gene therapy was approved. And this is called Zolgensma, which is used for SMA, which is skeletal muscle atrophy. This is a disease state that can affect young children where their life expectancy is extremely low. Their muscles kind of degenerate over time. They may not learn to sit up on their own, to stand, and let alone even walk. So they came up with this gene therapy that was approved by the FDA, of course, and it's like $2.3 million. And when you have cases that may be this expensive, it requires a lot of research and making sure that we have the right rigor around it, and also making sure that we have all of the controls around it to manage this member over a period of time. So when I was tasked with creating what we call our gene therapy task force, I had to come up with getting actuary involved, and that's like making sure we have our data analysts, making sure we have case management, making sure that we have our contracting involved, because these gene therapies are not available in all states. They may be only available at certain universities. So we need to make sure we have our contracting involved. If someone has to go to Atlanta to go to Emory, or anything of that nature where these therapies are available, we have to have a multifaceted individuals involved in this task force. So when I was tasked with this duty, it required a lot of research and a lot of work to build this program, and it's up and running, and I was happy when I was done building it. So then I passed the baton, but I still manage any of our upcoming therapies that's entering the market, as well as our CAR T therapies, and those are used for like multiple melanoma, kind of like a different other disease states, but they definitely range between 750,000 to upwards of $3 million for one treatment.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And I'm sure, being, younger in the industry, that there are some pushback and some challenges that you have to face. And I'm sure we'll get into that a little later, and some of the ways you deal with, just how you approach life, you utilize and you apply in having to deal with being younger there. So in your profile bio, use terms such as virtuous wife, devoted wife, and extraordinary mother. Why is that important to you to list in your bio?
Because family is everything to me. Like what I do, I don't do it for me. I do it for my legacy. Like I go as hard as I go, I do as much as I do to make sure that my children's children can live off the work that I'm doing today.
Wow.
So when I say I am an amazing mother, because I am,
Come on.
because I am. And not only that, I mean, I know that with the schedule that I keep a very busy schedule, but I also make sure that when I need to be there for my children, I still do drop offs, I still do pickups, I still go to muffins with mom, and making sure that I'm at any kind of events that my daughter, she's in Taekwondo and she's aiming for her black belt come August. I'm at all of her events, and so I make sure that I'm there. Even though I have a busy schedule. Like that's not going to dictate me being there as a mother. And I say an amazing wife because I support my husband. I believe that, behind every strong woman, there's a strong man, and behind every strong man, there's a strong woman. We just take turns on who may be in the front today or tomorrow. But at the end of the day, we're there together. We do this together.
Amen.
Love it.
I heard that.
Thank you.
Okay. Your leadership style, one of the things when I was doing your introduction, is characterized by benevolence. Explain that to us.
Yeah, I believe that, you definitely have to treat people how you want to be treated. And not only that, you have to treat people in a way that they feel appreciated. When your team feels appreciated and like they matter, they show up differently. Like, I don't know if anybody ever had a supervisor where, if they had a nasty attitude, it's like, I'm just going to come in here, do my job, and I'm gone. But if you have a supervisor or a manager and they are like, hey, I'm so happy that you're here today. Are you enjoying what you do? Do you have any feedback? How are you? How is your family? How's everything going? Is there anything that I can do to make this job better for you? Are you enjoying yourself? Do you like what you do? Are you excited when you show up? They show up differently because they feel like you care about them. It's not just a number. It's not just somebody coming to show up to do a job. My team love me. My team show up for me. If I have any issues, they are there. If they have any issues, they know I will advocate for them. They know I am there to support them. They know I'm there to help them. They know that I care about them. So they show up enthusiastic and ready to work because they know that the leadership is already there. That's why I lead in the way that I do.
Right. That's what's up. Shout out to Ben Sutter as the third there. We appreciate your support, sir. He is the gentleman that put the BS in BS3. So this next question I want to pose to Lily and Mika first, because I think this is something that y'all have had the experience being in leadership position. What, in your opinion, do you think is the biggest hindrance leaders face in pursuit of their dreams and ultimately reaching their full potential? What is the biggest hindrance, do you think, leaders face being a leader yourself?
Sometimes in situations in corporate, you're of a different skin complexion. And you may be the youngest one in the room, so you don't get your due respect. So they see a younger Black chick coming in, and it's kind of like, who is she? Like, I think our culture at the company that I work for now is changing, but it wasn't always that way. But and I'm sure you guys all know, being a part of corporate worlds, this diversity inclusion, ever since things started to be highlighted in news and things like that,
Right.
It's becoming a different world. So I would say sometimes it can be because you're a Black woman, a strong with a strong, they look at it as an attitude, but you just stand up for yourself and hold people accountable. So I think that's probably one of the biggest hindrance.
Okay, Mika, what do you think is one of the biggest hindrances for executive leaders facing in the pursuit of their dreams and ultimately reaching their full potential in and out of the workforce?
I would say almost the crab in the barrel mentality, because sometimes when especially in our community, when one makes it, we're scared to bring the other one up because you don't want to risk your position or them going further than you. Huh?
Can't be bigger than me.
Cannot be bigger than me. So I think we hold each other back because we're worried about beating each other rather than lifting each other up. So
yeah, and I'll add to that crab in the barrel just a moment after I give. Nikki, do you have anything to add to that? I know your time at Carroll, you served in a leadership position. Have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with both Mika and Alicia. I don't care. I think that they're right about what they're saying about people they're jealous of some of your accolades and the things that you guys take care of. I had that as well because I was only a Black woman in my area. And so, and I had a role in that, but it was still people that some people didn't even talk to me sometimes because they would go to somebody else, go around me. Mm-hmm. So I can understand and relate to that.
Yeah. Every job I've had, I've ascended to a leadership role. And I remember this one particular organization, as I was ascending and I started getting some special projects and whatnot. I always dress the part you want to play. I came from that school of thought. You dress the part you want to play. You want to be a regular worker, dress like a regular worker. You want to be in management, executive management, dress like they dress. Right. Whether it was required or not. I was assimilating and infiltrating. Right. This is. We done all heard people say play the game. I played. And I played well, right? So anyway, I'm I'm starting to get some looks and some special projects and whatnot. And I used to walk through this one area on our sales floor, and there was a bunch of brothers over there, And so when I would walk through, I would hear him say, "SN, what's up, SN?" And I just laughed and went on, kept on walking. I didn't necessarily know what they meant, and it didn't matter to me. But one day the curiosity got the best of me, and I said, "What's SN mean?" They said, "Nah, don't worry about it, man. God." And I'm like, "No, go on, tell me what SN mean." And one of them finally said, "Man, it means super nigga."
Oh no.
And just like I laughed just now, that's exactly how I laughed. Because I wasn't offended. It was funny to me, and I'm like, hey, and that's right. I said, do I need to sign my check SN on the 1st and the 15th? And if that's the case, then that's fine, Well, needless to say, a couple of weeks later, when I was walking through there, that same dude chased me down. "Hey, dog, let me holler at you, man." And so I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he goes, "Hey, what can I do to try to start moving in the direction you're moving in?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Be willing for folks to call you SN."
Yeah.
So, Dr. Q, what is the biggest hindrance executive leaders face in the pursuit of their dreams and ultimately reaching their full potential?
I agree with everything that the three queens and king has said. I definitely think that I can relate to being one of the youngest and of darker complexion when I walk into any room. And I say that too because, in today's society where everything is virtual, I'll tell you this. 99.9% of the time, you will not see my camera on. Like
Yeah.
on a work look, Teams, no.
Heard that. Heard
No,
that.
I usually don't have my camera on. So then when I do show up and we have in-person meetings and stuff, and they're like, uh, who is that? And then you hear everybody whispering, they trying to figure it out, right? Like, who is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Dr. Parnell.
She's so well spoken.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, this is what I got. I thought you would be taller.
Oh.
Oh, okay, that's what you thought. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna act like that's real. But yeah, so I agree with it. And then like one thing I can say is right now within maturing and meeting other women that's at different levels, and I always believe like if you're the smartest person in the room, get out the room because you can't learn. So I continuously realize that my circle starts to change and develop, and as my circle continues to change, the caliber of women that I'm around has also excelled. And we are in a position where, look, we talk about salaries. We talk about bonuses. We talk about this kind of stuff because I want to make sure, like, sis, they not trying to play you, right? So when you have that crab in a bucket mentality, that means you're one, you can be hindering yourself. And two, this is something that you can be doing to elevate the entire, community as a whole. So that's one thing that definitely hinders, leaders with being successful in limiting their potential, in my opinion.
Okay, wow. I want to get back on this women for women, that conversation you have. Okay, but we're going to take a quick commercial break real quick. We'll be back in about a minute or so.
Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all.
The Lunch Break with AJ, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at noon Central.
Boy, that commercial gets you hype every time.
Yeah.
Yes, over here dancing.
So Dr. Q, you talked about, women and y'all coming together and, talking salaries, talking bonuses, making sure the other one ain't getting played. And the day you were on, we had 4 interviews back to back to back with, hey, some of the strongest Black women that you're going to ever come across that was heavy hitting. So tell me what the importance of that is. And, do you see enough of that in our society, in our community, and in the workplace? But tell me the importance of that kinship, that camaraderie.
It is extremely important. And I will say this as well. It comes with maturity. It comes with where your mindset is. Like you can't have these kind of conversations with everybody because everybody is not in the same place mentally to receive it. Like I can have these conversations, and I realize this too. Okay, I'm in my early 30s. I ain't gonna tell you how old I am. I'm in my early 30s. Okay, real early 30s. And my mentorship group and the women that I'm realizing like how my circle has changed, they're all in their mid to late 40s and above. And I'm like, goodness, like what's going on? And I had to have a conversation with my mom. And I'm like, Ma, all my friends like your age now. Like, it's just weird how things change. She said, well, as you mature and your mindset changes, your circle starts to shift. And as long as, and I'm not saying that it's not young people that have the same mindset or mentality, it is, but it's very rare that you can meet a lot of young people that are in the same space where they're receptive of it. And I say this all the time, in today's workforce is a mixture of like 5 different generations right now in today's workforce.
Yes.
Which is why I'm building another course on working in a multi-generational workforce. But when you have the baby boomers right now that they ain't ready to go, so they still there. And then you have Generation Xers. Those are like the 50 to 40-ish year olds right now. Then you have the millennials. I'm considered a millennial. And then now you got these Generation Zers coming into the workforce, and they fearless. They don't care. They'll quit on you today and
I'm about to say that
Today.
tomorrow.
With no backup plan.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna just go back to my mama house kind of attitude, So it's like you have so many different people in the workforce. Like, I can't have this conversation with a Zer because they don't care. I can have this kind of conversation with an Xer because now they understand, like we in the workforce, we are career driven, career oriented. The baby boomers, they gonna tell you to stay forever because that's what they used to, like stay until you get a pension. Like, baby, we don't got no pensions no more. Like, they ain't even around. That's not an opportunity for us. So it just depends on where you are and what it is that you're trying to do. But having that sister circle or that circle of women that will pour into you, that you can also pour into, that you can have these tough conversations with to make sure, like, are you set up for success? Right. It's important.
Yeah, and just for those of you who don't know, Gen X, I don't know if y'all done seen some of them TikTok videos out there. Gen X is not to be trifled with. I'm just telling you that right now. We're not the ones. It's the reason why you don't hear much about Gen X, because we don't play. We was the ones that was drinking out of water hoses.
Yeah.
We was the one who said that, you stay outside to the lights, the street lights. I'm back in this house. It's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And we was outside all day and survived.
All day long.
Yeah.
And survived. Okay. So Gen X is not to be played with. In fact, I have a diversity training company, and one of the things that we do in our workshops is train different generations on how to work. For instance, Gen X and baby boomers, they believe that I've been in this position long enough, I deserve the promotion, or I deserve the title, etc. However, Gen Zers believe if I'm better than you, I'm better than you. Whether I've been doing it for 6 weeks or whether I've been doing it for 16 years.
Very
if
true.
I'm better, And so trying to get each group to understand that, is a challenge in some workforces, and not that either of them are wrong. They're just different schools of thought, and so, but when I say, if you got workforces to where you got some old heads with some young ones, it can be some clashes that are ugly.
Lord.
Right now, under 30, over 30 clashes are more difficult for businesses to manage than the racial clashes. They are navigating that much easier than they are that age gap, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we that workshop, it's interesting to hear each group talk about how the other group sees them.
I'm actually scared of Gen Zers. Actually,
they are so.
They will look. I will be walking by a classroom, and they be like, you know what? I quit right now. You don't need your check
midday.
Well, be
wow.
Before lunch.
I am scared.
Okay, let's put this comment back on. This is actually somebody that I personally invited to the show, Zahaya. This is Chef Jeff's daughter. Okay. She was on last night. We reviewed Mea Culpa with Tyler Perry's movie. Yeah, it didn't go well. But she had insight. She had some very sound insight on Tyler Perry in his career arc. Okay.
Mhm.
And so because she presented herself, and I believe she's only 19, freshman in college, and sharp, 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 sharp. So I knew we were having Dr. Q on today, and I told her, I promise you want to be on tomorrow. This is somebody you need to get linked with, because like I said, Zahia is sharp, y'all.
Yeah.
So anyway, she said surrounding yourself with genuine people is extremely important. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, her parents are the most genuine people you're gonna ever come across. So I think it was H-Rap who had told her, he said, hey man, you did a fantastic job in rearing this young lady, just because of some of the comments she made were just so sharp, and at only 19 years old, her insight and discernment at 19 years old was just off the charts. She goes, yep, 19 and a sophomore, I took too many credits. But yeah, it was off the chart. So Dr. Parnell, what do you do when you recognize, because again, we have a lot more of the Zahayas in our community than we have had previously, right? But what do we do to make sure that we nurture them and we help even when they're not asking for help because they may need it and not know it? You follow me?
Yep.
What do we do to identify those people and kind of embrace them and help them on their journey?
You bring them in. You bring them in. And sometimes it's not always about waiting for someone to ask you for help. It's offering it. Hey, I'm here. Let's set up a lunch. Let's talk. Let's get on Zoom. I just want to know how's everything going. How's school? How's your studies? You dating somebody right now? Don't leave them alone. Like sometimes it's just a real relationship.
Yeah.
That's what's needed. Is the sincerity, the real relationship. That's what's needed. And then once you build that foundation, when they do have those questions or into those tough situations, they'll be more open to come in and speak with you.
Yeah, because
But you have to cultivate it first.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm a firm believer that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay any attention to you. They don't think you're just talking. And then also the importance of having someone that's not necessarily mom and dad to talk to.
Right.
So
That
they
makes
don't
a difference.
they don't necessarily have a dog in the hunt. I'm giving you real information simply because I care. Whether you do X, whether you do Y, whether you move left, whether you move right, isn't going to necessarily change the trajectory of my life. I'm telling you this because I'm trying to change the trajectory of yours.
Right.
So I don't think I think we're sometimes a little hesitant to reach out to individuals, young folks, when we see that, one is sharp, and I tend to do that quite frequently. If I see somebody sharp, I'm on number one, let them know you're sharp, Guess what? They may just be sharp and not know it. You follow me? Because guess what? If they're raised in a household where that's just the norm, they don't know how you compare to others. So sharp like that, you have the potential to be great, okay, to achieve greatness, and sometimes our kids don't strive for greatness because they've never seen greatness demonstrated and they've never been told greatness is within your grasp. So I think reaching out to them is extremely important.
And sometimes they're struggling with it because she's
That's right.
19. So there's not many people around her that are going to be as sharp and as driven as she said. She just said she took too many credits.
Yeah.
So she's trying to get it done, and she might not be surrounded by people that are driven like that. So
Yeah. And then having somebody that may be a little closer in age than parents makes a difference, like parents who graduated from college over 20 years ago as to someone who graduated college recently, or something like that. Like they have a different viewpoint on what that college experience is like. And then having people that's like, when I was in college, look, I walked around with basketball shorts and a t-shirt on and some slides, some Adidas slides until I had to get dressed for different events. Then I put my suit on or, something like that. But I wasn't one that craved for attention in college. And it's okay to not be that person where you got to walk around with lashes on and heels with your feet hurting while you walk on the campus trying to get somebody attention. Okay. So, having those different perspectives is important as well. So I completely agree. And look, I'm here. If you want to, holler at me, we can set up something.
Yeah. And so first of all, there's two things I want to talk about. The first one is that the one who was walking around in heels and lashes and stuff, that's the one that went to UNT. She down on she's grinning the biggest right now. The one with the edges ain't back together yet.
I was trying to get in that sorority, so I have to be cute.
What you is, sis?
The only thing out there. No.
Yeah, get it, Dr. Q.
It's the only way to go.
Do this, do this,
Only
No,
way
I'm
to
a
go.
Delta.
do this sous vide to her or something, Doc. Get her.
I'm gonna pray for you, sis. It's okay.
And then Chef Jeff and Dr. Carter, if y'all are listening, she said get somebody younger in college than their parents. She trying to say y'all old.
That is not what she said.
Season. See,
At
I said
all.
season. See, just be
They
throwing
cool.
people out there.
All right. So next question here is you made you have a quote. A vision, dream, or desire without a plan is just a thought.
Mhm.
Talk to us about that.
So I remixed it, right? I put mine this way, and that's why when I speak, I do hit on this as well. But I mean, you can have a vision for your life. You can dream all you want to. You can desire deep down in your soul. But if you don't have a strategic plan to make it happen, it's just a thought in your mind. Like it's not. If you don't have a way to make this happen, a plan, rather it's writing it down as a SMART goal, rather is you writing it down step by step. Whatever it is that you want to do, you need to have a plan to make it happen. If not, it's not going to happen. It's just going to be a thought in your mind. It's going to keep being a vision that's there. It's going to keep being that dream when you sleep. And it's going to keep being that burning desire. But you need to have a plan in place to make it happen. How do you do that? What's the goal? Now that you know the goal, what do you have to do to get there? Now let's break it down. What do you have to do for the year? What do you have to do for the year to make that happen? Now what do you have to do each month? Now what do you have to do each week? Now each and every day, what do you have to do to make it happen? So now you have a blueprint on how to turn that vision, that dream, and that desire into the actual reality that you want it to be.
So you say a SMART goal. What?
Mhm.
That didn't lose me. So talk to me about a SMART goal versus just the goal. You could have just said you got to have a goal, but you said a SMART goal.
Yeah. So SMART, that's an acronym. It's an old acronym that them remember when I was talking about the old man on the mountain. They around those people age. But but SMART goals, the S is like specific. Is your goal specific? What is it exactly that you want to do? Is it measurable? Making sure that you can track it, kind of thing. Is it obtainable? Can you actually achieve this goal? Is it realistic? Can you do it in the time frame that you're actually planning to do it? And then is it timely? What is the time to make it happen? So whenever I talk about SMART goals, I said this during when we were in our interview on Radio Row. I said, using weight loss for an example, like, okay, my goal is to lose 50 pounds or 60 pounds by the summer or something like that, right? In 6 months. So what does that mean?
Because I said you just saying that because me being and Courtney is on this.
I said, I'm not calling y'all fat. I did not say that now. But I use that one because it's easier to break it down. Because if you have if it's specific, like the specific is 60 pounds, right? Is it measurable? Yeah, you can weigh it. Is it SMA? Is it obtainable? Absolutely. Is it realistic? Well, when you're trying to do it by. Now, if you're saying you're trying to lose 60 pounds in 2 months, I'm gonna tell you that's not realistic. I'm gonna tell you it ain't obtainable either, not in 2 months. But is it timely? If you say I'm gonna do it in 6 months, so now that's a SMART goal. So now you can break that SMART goal down. You got it set for 6 months. What do I need to do each month? That's 10 pounds a month. So what do I need to do each week? So that's about 1 to 2 pounds a week. So how do I do that? I need to make sure that I have my meals. I need to make sure I do my workout 30, 45 minutes each day. I need to make sure I get my water in. Now that you have a blueprint of what you need to do every day, so that by the end of the week, you've met your weekly goal. After you've met your weekly goal for 4 weeks, now you've met your monthly goal. And if you do that for 6 months, you've met your entire goal that you had planned for yourself.
Yeah. How long you been in South Carolina? Because you say water like them now.
I've been down here for a little minute since 2009.
You say water like them. Okay. Monumental mode. What is monumental mode? Another acronym I would gather.
Yes, yes. Now this is mine. This is truly mine. Monumental mode. Monumental, again, highly significant and of great importance. And mode is that mindset so that you can achieve your goals. The M is for motivation. You have to be motivated. That's your why, your driving force. Why do you want to write the book? Why do you want to start the business? Why do you want to go back to school? Why? It's your why. The O is for optimism. You have to be optimistic. Do you truly believe that you can do what it is that you're setting yourself out for? Is your goal something that you believe that you can actually have? Now, I say this all the time. You cannot be a negative Nancy or a terrible time and think everything is going to work out for you because it likely won't. You have to be optimistic, the belief that everything is going to happen in your favor in the long run. The D is for determination and discipline. Now, I had to put these two together because they bond together now. So, determination, that's the relentless pursuit to go after whatever it is that you're focused on. And discipline is showing up even when you don't feel like it. So the determination, you hit failure. I know I ain't the only one that ever failed before. Everybody didn't fail before at something, right? So even if you fail, that means you keep going, right? That's that determination. And that discipline is I'm tired. It's 8 o'clock. My kids gotta go to bed. I gotta get up in the morning. I just don't feel like it. But it's showing up even when you don't feel like it because your results is depending on you, your business is depending on you, your legacy is depending on you, your team is depending on you, your goal is depending on you. And that E is for elevation. That's when you rise to higher levels. That's when you reach new levels in your life. So you start to see that that goal is becoming closer and closer and you keep going. You don't stop, you keep going. Just like a plane takes off, it don't stop when it get off the ground. It keeps going until it elevates and reach higher levels. And that's what the E is for. So when you get into monumental mode, you get into a mindset to truly achieve whatever it is that you're after within yourself. I used monumental mode when I was going to pharmacy school, when I was deciding to start my own business, when I was writing my book. Everything that I do, I get into monumental mode so that I can be motivated, optimistic, have determination and discipline so that I can elevate. And then I don't just stop, I keep going. Now, once I reach one goal, set a new one and keep rising.
Isn't it? Isn't it just for me? It is just shocking at how many times I see people who do operate in negativity. Like,
Mm.
they trying to get somewhere, yet every time you turn around, there's some negativity there. And I got news for you. It is draining for me. It
I
it is
was about to say the same thing. So draining.
an energy zapper to be around people who are negative, and it's like that's that old adage of glass half full, glass half empty.
Mm-hmm.
It is half empty every single time. Is that not surprising that you see that as often as we do?
It's sad. It's sad. Like, okay, let me tell y'all something real quick, right? I just went back home for a funeral on Tuesday. It was last Tuesday. I had to go home for a funeral. We walked in the funeral home, and the woman, I don't know what was wrong with her. Like, you see people coming in here. We're about to put someone to rest, and y'all, you sitting here got a whole nasty attitude. Just look it. Oh, hold on, stay right there. I'm gonna go see. I said, come here for a second, ma'am. Let me give you a hug. Like, let me just give you a hug because you gotta realize, like, energy is sensitive, and I'm
Yeah.
like, my hugs change people's life. Like, come here, let me help you real quick. And I just gave her a hug, and I was like, okay, I hope you have a wonderful day. Because sometimes people, they don't even realize it. When you operate in negativity so much, it becomes a part of who you are. And I swear, I don't even think she realized how negative her energy was.
Yeah. Wow.
No
Yeah.
one's ever corrected her, probably. She's probably always been like that.
And that's sad, especially when you're dealing with somebody who's going through a loss.
Right.
You can't be walking around like that. You need to be, where's the sincerity?
Yeah.
Like, do you not like what you do? You need to go home and wake up on the other side of the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't like what you do something else. But yeah, Dr. Parnell approaches life like I do. And she says that my energy shifts things, right? I often tell people you can either be a thermostat or a thermometer. Are you setting the temperature or are you taking the temperature? And I'm
There you
setting
go.
the temperature. I ain't taking no temperature in the room. I'm setting it.
I
Mhm.
can't tell.
If it's I walk through the door. If it's cold in there, we finna get hot. We're gonna hit a couple of
Heard that.
here. I don't know what this is, but they said, "Hey fam, what's going on?"
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, fam.
Zahaya says, "Must be nice. We are a work study school, so we always have to wear business casual."
I
Oh,
know that's
Oh,
right.
that's awesome.
That's dope. Get that
then
money.
it's her daddy.
Her daddy.
He says, "What's up?" And
Yeah.
then in reference to this weight loss journey, he goes, "It's so hard because double cheeseburger."
$1.99.
He ain't lying though. He
You
ain't
know, it's
lying.
always the unhealthy food that you cheat,
Exactly.
dog. Like they be making you just contemplate, like, do I really want to spend $4 on some grapes
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
$2 on some fries?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You to follow this dope cooking show. Chef Jeff has a food truck, and he comes out with a recipe every week. This week is smothered chicken.
Yeah.
And he will be, I think it's going to be in Arlington again this coming weekend. Last weekend he goes, these salmon Phillies went hard. They went,
Yeah.
they showed up for the salmon
Mhm.
Phillies.
Mm.
A couple of people send me some videos from the food truck. So y'all make sure and check out this dope cooking show on BS3 Network, and go find Chef Jeff on the weekends and try that. He'll have the salmon Phillies again, and then he'll have something featured every week as well. So we appreciate him. He's a down to earth brother for sure.
Yes.
Mhm.
Look, can you ship me one of them Phillies?
Yeah, I'm sure you can make that happen. All right. So you state that two things we can control. We kind of talked about this a little bit when we talked about being optimistic. You state that there are two things we can control: is our attitude and our actions. Why do so many of us fail to do so?
I would say people fail to control their attitudes because they allow other people to dictate their attitude.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they fail to control their actions because of either fear of failure or fear of success, being complacent with where they are.
That's good too.
I'm gonna tell you this for our viewers: for an additional $5 a month, we can give you behind the scenes, because right now our producer is in there cooking, y'all. She got a look at her. She got a hand on her hip and she's staring like probably doing. Boy, you lucky I don't hit the show button. I love it. For $5 a month, you can get all this content. So one of the things I may have mentioned during the interview on Radio Road, Doc, is that I go speak at on signing day at a couple of institutions, right? A couple of high schools around here on signing day, and one of them is that we talked about was bringing your A game in academics, attitude, and athletics. Okay. And one of the things I told them is, like I said, how can you bring your A game if you don't know what your A game is? I think I told you that when I was talking about your smile. And I said, your smile is a part of your A game. So when everything else is down, when your mind is cloudy, when you're not feeling physically well, your smile works every day, all day. So if
Yeah.
you identify that as part of your A game, how you gonna bring your A game if you don't know what your A game is? So again, attitude and actions is something that you can control, and it's just befuddling to me. Mika, write that down. Befuddling to me.
I don't have to. Boy, go on. Finish your thought. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
We got company, Mika. Don't get him today. Wait till after.
No.
So many people.
Get them.
Almost like they throw that away. They throw that control away. Think about it. In so many parts of your life, you fight for control from the time you're born. You're fighting to control some part of your life, right? And you wait and you wonder and you scratch and you fight. And now I'm an adult and I control whether I go to, for black folks, I ain't going to church on Sunday when I can make my decision, because you used to have to go to church, right? You're fighting for all this control when you wake up, when you go to bed, the kind of food you eat, the kind of clothes you wear. You're struggling and fighting for control. And this one thing that you can control, these two things you can control: your attitude and your response. And you give them away so freely. I don't get it.
I don't either.
I don't get it. Yeah. All right, she back. What you cooking? Bologna and eggs?
Leave her alone.
All right. Speaking of vocabulary, Doc decided to use the word transmute here. She goes, "How do you transmute failure into success?" Or excuse me, yeah, how do you transmit? I wrote that wrong, but how do you
Transmute.
transmit failure into success? And I just wrote it twice. But how do you
Oh.
transmute failure into success?
So you transmute failure into success by learning from the
Mhm.
failures. So if
Mm.
you learn from your failures, you treat, see, I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a learning opportunity.
Mm.
I look at it as the blueprint on how to succeed. So
Yeah.
if you are driving down the street and you make a left and failure is to the left, what is that telling you? Go back down that same street
Mm-hmm.
and make a right this time, because success can be on the other side. So
Right.
I
That's
look at
right.
it, and that's how you transmute failure into success. You use it as an opportunity to learn, as an opportunity to grow. You don't look at it as, oh, dang, I failed. That's it. That's all. Like, no, 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 no. Now you know what not to do.
Yeah,
So this time you know what you can do to reach the success that you need. And if success ain't all the way to the right, it might be to the kitty corner. You don't know, but you just keep trying. Try again. You never stop. You never give up on yourself. You never give up on your dreams. I was reading, what's that book? Think and Grow Rich. I believe that's the book I was reading. I didn't read so many of these dang on books, these self help books, y'all. I love them, but I was reading Think and Grow Rich, and it was saying like how they were chiseling away at this mine, and they just stopped and they sold it, and they was like, we ain't coming back no more. And then the next people they came, and they were like 3 meters away from the gold, but they
Mm.
stopped. But they was only 3 meters away from the gold. So sometimes you can be right there, and if you give up, it's like now you didn't gave up. Like, you have you ever had a thought about an idea or something, and then you didn't follow through with it, but then next thing you know, a couple years
Somebody
later,
else.
somebody else then,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody
Mm-hmm.
else that came up with your invention or your thought or
Yep.
that book that you were supposed to write or that
Yep.
business you were supposed to start, because you didn't follow through with it. And if you don't follow through with it, trust and believe it'll get rerouted to somebody else, and they gonna follow through with it. So you have to keep going. You have to give yourself that push. Don't
Yeah.
stop. If you fail, keep going. Transmute that failure into success, because success is on the other side. You just got to figure out which side it's on.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. See, a lot of folks got that wrong. They think it's think and go rich, but it's think and grow rich. They don't want the grow part.
No, and see, sometimes you got to go through that journey. Like, my husband and I, we just had the open house for our child care center downtown Columbia, and it has been a journey. Like, this has been over 6 months journey of getting it to the point where now we can open. And it's like it's not just everybody want to be a part of the glory, but they don't always want to be a part of the
Oh,
story that it took
Amen.
to get there. So you have to realize that in order to even reach success, you have to go through the different steps it takes. If you make a shortcut, trust and believe it's gonna come back some kind of way. The
yeah,
get rich quick schemes, trust and believe it. When they say scheme, it's a scheme.
yeah.
And you can try it all you want to and keep trying. Now you can keep transmuting that one if you want to. And you let me know where you get. Let me know which one worked for you. Or get in at the bottom so you can get your 3 people and they can get their 9 and they can get their 12, and you let me know. But you better get in at the bottom.
Done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've often said that failure, if your perspective is right, failure is a more powerful tool than success is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because if you succeed, sometimes you succeeded on accident. You got it
Mhm.
right. You got lucky and got it right. But if your perspective is right, you can learn much more from failure than you can
Yeah.
from success.
So true.
And I don't know any millionaire or multimillionaire or billionaire who does not have a long laundry list of failures in
Mhm.
their wake, that they can tell you about, that they had to overcome in order to get where they are. So if you somebody to where a one failure, is going to stop you, then you might be in a wrong line of business. Uh,
Absolutely.
so this
Absolutely.
Monumental Kids Academy,
Yes.
that's what you're opening. So y'all about to cut the ribbon on it, huh?
Mhm.
Yes, we had our open house on last Saturday. It was absolutely amazing. Had the bouncy houses out there for the kids and food, and they were able to come in and tour and got some babies all nice and signed up. So we're excited. It's definitely going to
awesome.
be awesome.
Y'all
Thank
better
you.
do it.
Look,
Yeah.
everything is
Yes.
monumental.
Yeah, so I would imagine that you probably, because this is Monumental Kids Academy, you're not taking no regular teachers. You know what I'm saying? Even your hiring practices, they have to have a monumental mindset in order to even be on your campus. If I had to guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have an amazing staff thus far. We make sure that we align. You got to make sure you align. You got to make sure your team aligns with you and what your goals are. Our curriculum is definitely a creative, interactive curriculum merged with Christian values. We want to make sure that we teach our children, how to be kind and how to practice grace and all of that good stuff. So we want to make sure that when we have our team in place, they are ready to hit the ground running as well. And that's what we did within our interview process.
What age do you start at?
We start at 1, so we starting at 12 months, and we go up to 4 because at 5, they'll likely be transitioning into
school.
K5. Yep.
Okay.
We can have
That's on-
younger
you got a
children,
copy.
but Oh, I'm
You got
sorry.
a copy of the lunch menu in there?
You know what's funny? So like, I don't eat
Why you talking about
lunch
food?
menu, but I don't eat beef or pork, and a lot of families have kind of shied away from it. So we make sure that our menu is actually chicken, turkey based foods. So
Okay.
we stuck away from it. So we have burgers. They gonna be turkey burgers. They ain't gonna be no beef burgers in there.
Hey, give me a good turkey burger, okay?
Come on, them things be good too.
Okay.
Chef
Right.
Jeff is. We will be back in Arlington again. Do you have the address for that, Chef Jeff? Because I'm sure a lot of Queen3 and King supporters want to come check you out. And Doc, tell the folks where they can get a hold of you. If they're speaking engagements, if they want to talk about this workbook, because I think that's big too. So tell us everything we need to know about getting on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Monumental Mode is actually a book, and it does have a 90-day workbook that goes along with it. It has it in there where you can write out your SMART goals, daily affirmations, breaking your goals down from that yearly or monthly into weekly into daily goals. And it's something that I use it myself every 30 days, every 90 days, I start a new workbook because I set new goals for myself every quarter. So you can get the book and workbook online at drqthecoach.com, or it's available on Amazon. If you order it from my website, you'll get an autographed copy. If you order it from Amazon, you'll get it in 2 days, like Amazon Prime, 2-day shipping. But yes, the book and workbook, they're dope. They go hand in hand together. The book talks about stories from myself and clients on how getting into monumental mode helped them both in business and leadership and life and personal goals and things of that nature. So it's pretty dope. I enjoy it. I had to read my own book myself. Like I read it like, I wrote that, girl. You did a good job. And it's not a long read because I'm a big stickler for if you're gonna get to the point, get to the point. Okay. Like don't be giving me no 200-page book. You could have got it done in 80 pages. Like don't
I'm
do that.
telling you.
Yeah. So it ain't no fluff in there. It's straight to the point, and the workbook is dope. They go hand in hand. But you can reach me at Dr. Q the Coach on all social media platforms. www.drqthecoach.com and 803-587-8677. If you want to text me, it'll come directly to my phone and I'll text you back. So there we go. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. This was dope. This was awesome. I feel like I'm a part of the family now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You are.
that's your rite of passage right there.
Yeah, Dr. Q, everybody. We appreciate you for coming on. Yeah. See that in our studio audience, I forgot to mention them. There's about 3 people watching right now that
Now, what happened to the other people that we had this past week?
there's a studio audience
No, in the studio where he is.
Studio.
in the studio. Because it's just my bedroom converted into a studio. But yeah, we appreciate you, Doc, and actually stay on after we sign off so we can thank you properly in the green room there. And we're gonna go get some final thoughts here from the queens. We'll start with the season queen, Nico.
What you call me? Nico?
Yeah.
Oh,
Name.
I guess we got company, so I'm not gonna say nothing bad about you. Okay. thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking your time to come on and share all these nuggets with us. And it's really nice to meet you. And we hope you can be back on at some other point. And that's it. And I also want to thank our 2 or 3 viewers that he said we had.
That's our studio.
All right. And go back down to the 20-inch or 24-inch next week.
Wait, you don't tell me how to do my hair. You ain't my husband.
The educated queen. Final thought.
He's an idiot.
Now,
You had so many good gems. So thank you, Dr. Q, for coming on. We appreciate it. And from one young sis to another, keep growing, keep going. I wish you all success. And you are part of the family now.
Yeah, and she's short just like y'all too, because she ain't
heck,
Dr. Q
I
probably
ain't that tall.
What is stand up?
you about 4'11" and a half or so.
I'm a good 5.
That's okay.
That is okay.
God got it done in 5 feet. You good?
Ooh. All right, baby queen, final thoughts.
Dr. Q Parnell. Every time I say that, I think about my OBGYN.
Yep.
Shout out to Wendy Parnell. Best OBGYN in the world.
They cousins, man.
It might be your cousin. We'll talk backstage. It might be. But I wanted to thank you for coming. I keep going back. I don't know why my mind keeps going back to the gene therapy, because to know that we're talking to somebody that could be part of the cure is amazing to me. So keep walking in your purpose. This monumental daycare that you got going, I'm about to ship Bronx because he needs some monumental.
So she's gonna send him back.
He needs that.
Bronx needs monumental help.
Woo! Pray for us with toddlers. But yes, we thank you for being on. I just love, like he said, you just light up the room. So love your energy, love what you're doing. Many blessings to you and your family on your continued success, for sure.
Thank you.
No doubt about it. Next week, The Power of Love with special guest host Victor and Kietra Lee. So join us then next week, next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. And we appreciate you for tuning into another episode of Queen3 King.
Bye.
Bye, family.
Bro, bring the hook in. Queen3 King, we the team, it's going down. We the talk of the town, it's going down. We royalty, wear our crowns, it's going down. Tune in now, it's going down, it's going down. We just hit you with another one. It's going down, we just hit you with another one. It's going down, we just hit you with another one. Tune in now, we just hit you with another one. It's Queen3 King. 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 On BS3 Network.